And let's talk about that move today. I think you touched on it a minute when I was adjusting things there, but the amount bridged in today, which I think fits into this conversation just because of the fact that we are, pumping a little bit today. So a number that we haven't seen bridged into PulseChain for quite some time, in one clip anyway, 1.3 million came in today. And we've said this before, neither one of us are like wallet sleuths or anything like that. It was just I just happened to see it on the updates from one of those Pulse accounts today. But yeah, bridged in over $1 million, bought a little bit of Ink token. I think you did say this, and then
Mhm.
PDI as well, which is
Yep.
extremely interesting.
Yep.
And then nothing else quite yet. So we were discussing this off air, but what do you really make of that and the timing of a big bridge like that? Because usually when we see money like that, it's like, oh, what does this guy know that we don't know? Is it a whale of some sort or something? Because we saw the CPI thing today came in a little bit better than expected. I can't imagine that happening was some kind of huge signal for all these gigantic buyers on the sideline. Obviously the market is up, but it just, I don't know. Why do you think we see that move today? I mean, I like it obviously either way, but that money coming into PulseChain right now, when seemingly we may have another month or two of this kind of hanging out in this zone or kind of slowly crawling out of here. I'm just curious your thoughts on that and maybe the choices of what to buy. Really interesting to buy the incentive token in PDI. Raises some questions for me, not in a negative way. I'm just curious, but yeah, what do you make of all that?
Well, I think it's just a little bit of front running. I think that obviously it's a whale. I'm trying to find the total amount. I don't know. Do you have that bookmarked? Because it was wrapped ETH, and I'm trying to find the.
I don't have it bookmarked, but I sent you a message about it today. So let me,
You did. I got it. I'll
yeah,
get there.
358 ETH.
So
Yeah.
358. So it was $1.3 million.
Hmm.
Obviously a whale if they're just casually moving that much around.
Hmm.
Wrapped Ethereum, 358 wrapped Ethereum. They've got some money in the market. So I would consider that whalish behavior. I think they're trying to front run a couple things. Um, Incentive being one. I think that is still people look at it as the safe play because there is no origin address. There is no origin address owned tokens, I should say.
Hmm.
And the PDI is, the Atropa ecosystem is still tied to a lot of things, right? So I think it's just a early speculative kind of front running that's happening. I don't think it's anybody that we know. I mean, it could be somebody we know in the ecosystem, but I don't think it's a large player that you know. I don't think it's Sack Daddy
Right. No, I
that's
agree.
doing this. And no, I think it would have been. I think it would have been called out had it been one of the addresses that we knew about anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just think there's front running going on. I think it's getting to be that time people are gonna dip their toes and kind of see how it plays out. It's been down for over a year now, and I think they feel that it's time. I'm kind of agreeing. The sentiment is starting to shift a little bit, and someone says, let's throw a dart here and see what happens. If it gets sold back down immediately, then we're still not quite ready. And I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so too. Very interesting because yeah, you would consider both those buys to be somewhat speculative, even in this
Right.
ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, like Inc. There are people out there. I know there are some people like Donovan Jolly from DIY Investing. I know Jenkins, the trader, talks about Inc. all the time. Like, there's a lot of people who are extremely bullish on Inc. and talk about it all
Right.
the time, and are like, it's going to do better than everything in this ecosystem when things start to come up. Then there's others. I don't really see anybody trashing it or anything, but then there's others who kind of just like, well, I farm it. I farm it for yield. I appreciate that. Some people even, don't even necessarily keep their ink stack and use it to DCA into other stuff. I don't think that there is a right or wrong way. But I think I'll say this: I don't want to have like no exposure to ink. Like, if all you're doing is farming it and not buying it, I wouldn't want to just get rid of all of it or anything.
Sure.
That's what. Yeah, I'm not anyway. I mean, I
And
have used it in the past to like throw darts at other stuff, but I don't want to have zero ink anyway.
right. And the other option is too that they're possibly preparing to put some liquidity in, right? Because we
Hmm.
know that there's a lot of decent percentage APRs out there on the ink farms.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they have some substantial amount of other stuff and just didn't feel they had quite enough ink, and then just kind of threw a dart at the PDI stuff. Maybe they're preparing to add some liquidity to one of those pools. So there's a lot of possibilities out there. What they're doing, and again, it's total speculation on our part because we're not watching wallets or have that one identified as anybody in particular. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting behavior nonetheless, and good to see that amount bridged in anyway. So things are green today. So, as much pain as there's been lately, might as well celebrate it a little bit. But I totally agree with some of the sentiment on Twitter. Like there's people out there that are like, okay, you guys can stop with the "we are so back" tweets, and I agree completely. Like, we are not out of the woods yet. And again, this isn't even, I don't want, people watching or anybody to think that this is just our ecosystem. I mean, like this is a lot of crypto ecosystems right now. Like, there was a pump for a lot of interesting tokens over the first quarter of this year, BTC, one of them, being one of them, and a lot of memes across a lot of blockchains, mainly Solana. But we are still down in a lot of areas now, and we got a lot of room to run still. I mean, like, we don't know what's going to happen with this ETH announcement. The ETF is not actually live yet. Let's get some of that going, get a little bit further into this bull market and see where we're at in, 6 months from now anyway. So, yeah, got to keep toughing it out, basically. So,
yeah, let's take a look at the bubbles here and see what PulseChain.
I forgot that token existed, that thank you RH thing. That's funny.
Yeah, well, it's down 75% today. So
not
liking everything else being up. Looks like Earn token is up 21. And I don't know what DMND is or Zoo. Those are
nope.
Never heard of either one of those. I was looking. It looks like Teddy Bear is one of the better performers that are more popular, right?
Right.
12%.
Yeah, you'd imagine
10%.
Yeah, I was going to say you'd imagine that ecosystem would be doing a little bit well today if PDI got a big buy, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing PDI jump out at me here anywhere. Like I haven't found it yet. There's just a lot of green, so it's I'm not seeing it offhand. But either way,
good stuff, obviously, for the ecosystem today.
Yeah,
so
we love green candles, right? Loan tokens up 10%. That's the eternal dump token because everybody farms it, sells it, and then pays back their loan. Here's PDI. It's only up. What's that say? 0? Or is that 0.6?
It's definitely up today. I was looking at it earlier, but
9%.
Yeah, things are 9% today. Ink is up 10% today. Yeah, so looking pretty decent across the board there. So